Hi and welcome. In this short Pandas Read CSV tutorial, we will learn more on how to work with Pandas Read CSV. Specifically, we will learn how to set the index column. We will also learn how to read certain columns from the CSV file. We will learn how to remove unnamed columns if we want to remove them. We will also skip rows and set the header. That is, in these examples, skip rows and set header will give us the same results. And finally, we will also look on how to set missing value. So if the data file have not available coded as missing value, we have to tell Pandas that. That said, have a look in the description below for useful links. You will find a Jupyter notebook containing all code, a link to a blog post in which I explain more about working with Pandas Read CSV. That said, let's start coding. Okay, so we start by import pandas as PD. In this example, we're going to use this data set and we load it from my URL. If you have a data set on your hard drive, you can load it by having the directory. If your Jupyter notebook or your script is in the same, you just have to same directory as the data. You just have to put the file name here. So let's start. So in the simplest form, we're just going to read CSV and the URL CSV, and we can have a look at the df, the first 5 rows by using df head. So you can see here in the output, we have a lot of columns. We get this unnamed column. So now we're going to use index columns. Tell pandas that the first column is the index column. So it's index underscore call 0. And we will see what happens. Yes, then we'll get these numbers and we don't have that unnamed call. So say we want to read certain columns from this. We may not want everything here. So let's take the first 4. So first 4 columns, and we can leave that index call for now to be 0. And we use the parameter usecols and our list. So usecols can take a list of integers or a list of strings, but we start by doing this, and we will see here. Yes, so here we get the index first. It's this one. So if we want more columns from the data frame, we put the first as index. We only get these 3 columns. We can do like that. And let's see, we can also use the same if we knew the names, which we probably do. Then we can run the same. It will select these columns. But we can see now we get the ID num because this is the first now. So the unknown column will not get loaded into this. And we could also do like this. And let's add person search. This will be the same as having a 0 here. we can see we get a multi-index data frame here. So we can have a look at it. Data frame, info, some useful information. Okay, so we can use reset index. Actually, let's do like this. Let's see, we get it quite nicely like this. Okay, so let's say we remove these and we have this unnamed column and we want to remove it. It can be done. There's different methods. We can start by only reading the first rows. So here, if you use n rows, you can read the first 10 rows or the first 2 rows. We're just going to read the first and get the columns, and I'm going to show you what it will contain. Then we will continue. Let's see. So it's the column names. So here we have the unnamed column. So we can continue now by RDF read CSV, and we have the URL. And now we use calls, and we take the first from here, or the second, of course, second to the last, and then we run the code like this. See, and then this unknown column is removed. So another way is, of course, to read the entire data frame and drop the column. We may have a lot of different columns that are unnamed, and we want to get rid of them. So then we can use Pandas drop method. So the data frame has this drop method, and then we're going to use columns and the columns where the string contains unnamed and case set to false, so it will take uppercase, or and then we use axis 1. It's the columns we want, and in place true and df head. And then we will get the same result, but we remove the column from the entire data frame here. It's pretty neat. Okay, so we're going to continue by skipping rows also. So we may have a file with some rows that we want to skip, like this one, or we just want to skip to a certain row and read from there. Maybe we want some set of the data subset. So this is a locally stored CSV file. You can find it in a link in the description below. So we are going to use PD read CSV. So pandas read CSV, and we put in the file. You can put the string directly in here if you want to. And we set the index call to 0, and we skip rows. We skip 3 rows and df head. So we get this. If we were not to use the skip rows, pandas wouldn't be able to read this data frame. So if we know the headers are on a certain row, we can use header instead also. So pandas read CSV and the header can be used. It will give us the exact same results. So as you can see here, we have some data here, a response variable, and there's some missing data here. So how to handle this kind of data? If the data were to be just missing, nothing in here, but here is recorded as not available. So how do you deal with that? We can use the NA values parameter and set the string not available, and you will see the difference. Then we get the none here, and we can work with this data. So if we were to do any statistical analysis, it would be able to remove the nonce. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. Hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button, please. And until next time, bye.